Good afternoon, students. Once again, I welcome you back to the online classes. This class is again for class ninth English. The topic that today we are going to discuss is the topic of literature section. This is the first chapter of the book Beehive. There are two books in class ninth this year for you. One is Beehive, the other is Moment. This is the first chapter of Beehive, the fun they had. If you remember in the previous class, I told you that this topic has a lot to do with the situation we have been experiencing these days. We are locked down in our houses. The government has suggested us not to come out of the house and to keep social distance, avoid movement. This all has a reason behind, and the reason is the virus, the corona COVID-19, which is spreading very fast like wildfire in the world. That is why we are isolated. But this story, the fun they had, the children in this story are also isolated. But this isolation is not because of the virus or anything like that or any disaster, but this isolation is because of the advancement in the technology. Whenever I ask my students that what are the different kind of games that they play, they tell me the games that I have never played in my childhood. I mean, these are the games with so virtual reality is so fine that you find yourself amongst the characters of the game, or these are so beautiful. I mean, no explanation for that. But children, what do you think, that is it going to stop here? No, the advancement in science is not going to stop here. It's going to continue. Or whatever that you are playing or you are dealing, whatever the gadgets that you are using now, this is going to be obsolete. It is going to be of no use. In future, the children, they definitely will, when they talk to you, they, if you tell them you played PUBG, they will laugh at you, because then the different games which are far better than the games that you play today, they must be playing those games. So this story is about those children, and when everything would be in the advanced level, not only the games but in the schooling, the living, everything would be in advance. I would like to give you the example of one of the shopping sites, the Amazon. I have heard that Amazon has started delivering the products to the customers with the help of robots, and also the restaurants in different countries have started using the robots as waiters there. So though we are admitting, we are witnessing the first stage, the first level of advancement, so this advancement will continue. So let us begin this interesting topic today, the fun they had. What are we going to discuss in this topic, in this chapter today, is we'll discuss about the author. I'll give you a little introduction of this story, which I have already given to you a little. The summary we will deal with, and comparison of the two schools, since it is about the schools of today and the school of future, so we'll discuss them with the help of pictures. And very interesting segment of this top chapter, that what will the children miss in future, and a little small home assignment for you. So let us start with the first one, that is the author, Isaac Asimov. Isaac Asimov, he was born on 2nd January 1920 in Petrovich in Russia. He immigrated with his family to the US and became a biochemistry professor. Remember, he was a biochemistry professor. Sometimes there is a myth that only the people, those who are from the literature section, they can only be the authors. No, we have many examples here, and Isaac Asimov, Chetan Bhagat, these are some of the examples, those who really were not from the literature section. Their background was something different, as biochemistry was the background of this man, Isaac Asimov. He published his first novel, Pebble in the Sky, in 1950. He immensely prolific author who wrote nearly 500 books and published influential sci-fi works. Sci-fi. Students, you would have seen many sci-fi movies. I want you to write in the comment section below that which are some of the movies that you have seen, that you have watched, the sci-fi movies especially. I also love to watch sci-fi movies, and you have to write at least a few names in the comment section below. So what did he publish? He published works like I, Robot, and the Foundation trilogy, as well as books in a variety of other genre. Sci-fi is a genre, so he wrote not only in sci-fi, but mostly he wrote in sci-fi, but he wrote also in the other genres as well. He died in New York City on 6th April 1992. Something about this story, as I said to students in the beginning, that this story deals with the present time and the time in future. So this story deals with the time when when the children would be taught not by the human teacher but by the robot teachers. So as you have the human teachers today, your coming generation is not going to have this, not exactly the the next generation, but it is going to happen after long years, many after a lot of after a long time, when the students, when the children would be taught by some robotic teachers. So what happens here is that the uh, there are two children, Tommy and Maggie. Tommy is 13-year-old and Maggie is 11. What happens one day, Tommy finds an old book. He and Maggie, they find it strange. See, the word is strange. They find it strange that the words on the paper, on the book, they do not move after having been read. Means exactly it happens with you when you are reading a book. It never happens that the pages are blank after you read them, but you can imagine that these two were surprised to see that these words were not moving. So it means that it would happen in future. If you remember, if you recall the movie Harry Potter, and you, if you have watched those movies, you will find that in the movie, in all parts of Harry Potter, whenever a newspaper is introduced, whenever somebody is reading newspaper, pictures are moving, words are moving, so something like that will happen. In the Harry Potter movie, that is uh, just an imagination that it would happen because of magic, but it has started happening now that the words get disappear once you have finished the book. So it will happen in the books of these two, Maggie and Tommy, and the other children of the year 2157. Nowadays they only read stories on the computer screen, these two. The book is about school centuries ago. Mark is very surprised that in the past students had a person as a teacher. They had a human as a teacher, and that all children of the same as learned the same thing. That all the children of same age, they learned same thing. Means that things as it happens, class 8 students, they study the, all students of almost in the same age, they study the same thing. Class 9th is students of almost same age, they study the same thing. But for the time 2157, it will not happen. Students of same age can read, can study different things. It definitely would happen as per the author, as Maggie was surprised to see that they had been studying the same thing. Maggie wants to read more of the book, but first she has to learn with a machine teacher whose level is too advanced for her, and she thinks school in those days was much better than today. This is the very golden line for me that I want you to focus on. Maggie thinks that the schools, those in her days, were not better, but the school in the old days had much better fun than schools of her that day, those days. How she finds that the students in those days had human as a teacher, and there is a problem with her. Her teacher is a mechanic teacher, robotic teacher, and this teacher can be adjusted as per your level. Maggie is 11, Tommy is 13. So The same teacher can be used for Magi, the same teacher can be used for Tommy. Since these are robotic, only what do you have to do is you just have to adjust that teacher according to your age. So Magi doesn't want to have the robotic teacher because that is very advanced. It is very advanced, and once there was a problem also, her mother had to take the robotic teacher to the county inspector. County inspector, there is a new word for you. County inspector in those days would be a person who repairs the teachers. Funny to hear that there would be a person to repair teachers, but those teachers would be the robotic teachers. So there a problem has occurred in Magi's robotic teacher, that Magi's robotic teacher has advanced itself to the next level. Which level? The level which is not for Magi. It could be the level of Tommy, but since the robotic teacher doesn't know that Magi is 11 years, so what kind of stuff, what kind of things that he should teach Magi. So he teaches Magi the advanced level and gives her the test after test of advanced level only. So that is why Magi doesn't like this teacher. The other thing that Magi likes is that students used to go in a building. There was a building where all the students used to go together and they used to study the same thing. How fun that would be. She of things. One of the examples at line number 18, it says that I hate this school. And Magi was thinking about how the kids must have loved in the old days. She thinks about the old days, she thinks about the time being spent by those children. So it has been depicted by Asimov very beautifully. Students today, we find that the schools are the sometimes the students find that schools are boring places. Schools, teacher come, they teach you, give home assignment and many different other things, but definitely you are going to miss all the things, definitely in future also. What the students in the year 2157 are going to miss is they're going to miss the complete setup. The schools that we have today are different building and different and human teachers, they are going to teach us. This is not going to happen for them. All the robots, this much advancement will take place in science that the students, they will stay in their homes and the robotic teachers will teach, they will evaluate, and it would not be compulsory for them that they should be of certain level to study the different things. Any person of any age could study, depending upon the mental level of could study of any level as per the robotic teacher. So this is all depicted in this story. Asimov has beautifully shown that Magi and Tommy, they were very keen to see those schools in the schools today. They wanted to have people, they wanted to have friends, those who go in the morning to the school. They discuss, they gossip on the way, they play after the school, they play in the school, they touch, they share all that emotional attachment that you people are getting today in the school atmosphere. Margie and Tommy and many other children like Margie and Tommy are going to miss. So this is what Asimov has described, has depicted in this story. So now what has been mentioned there in this story, that the difference that indirectly comes when we observe the discussion or gossip of Margie and Tommy. The present school, we know that we have books, papers, these are printed on papers, these are yellow, crinkly, you can turn the pages, the words, they never change after you have read, and it remains same once you have finished. And if you see this one advancement, telebooks like ebooks, Kindle, which this is the first one, this is the beginning of that time of that kind of school in the year 2157. So Kindle, you can store thousand of books at one small device. So this would be the difference in the future, that today we have this, and in the next future school will have not only telebook but much more advanced version of telebook or ebook or Kindle than the present today one. The present school teachers, the present school, we have definitely the human beings as teacher who comes in the morning and teaches you on the board. Different students they answer, and many more things, many more activities are done collectively in the classroom. But if you see this robotic teachers, though at present it looks very funny, very interesting that a person robot is going to teach you, the students, there would be a lot of drawbacks of it. This person is going to understand you, this is not going to understand. This is going to be adjusted as per your level, whether you are a small child, you are a girl, you are a boy, you are anything, you are weak, you are strong, your handwriting good, your handwriting is not good, anything happens, this person is not going to do that any kind of favor for you or anything like that. He's not going to this, I'm using he, but it should be the proper word for that. It's not going to understand you at any point. What it needs only whatever it teaches you, it needs the result. Whereas this person understands you. There are emotions, because the teachers, they have human beings emotion, they are real human beings. This is not a real, it looks funny, it looks interesting that the children in the future will have such teachers, but you can when you read the dialogues of Margie and Tommy, you would have found that they are not liking this mechanical teacher, because this mechanical teacher can go to any level. There can be any technical fault also. What happens when our phone is not working? We are hopeless. We need to take this thing to the person who repairs it. The same, we have one word for that. I want you to write the name of the person who repairs it, the comment section below. The person who repairs a robotic teacher or a mechanical teacher for Margie and Tommy. The word has come in the story. I have also just spoken that word. So the present school has classroom, a different building. Many students are taught in the same way, in the same thing. And the future school will be, you will be living in your own house. You cannot talk to your friend. Definitely, it would be very uninteresting for me that sitting idle alone in a room where I cannot talk to my friend, I cannot um, play with them. It would be very bad thing for me at least. Homework and assignments. Important section. Homework and assignment, you have to maintain your test papers, copies, writing essay, different things are to be made, but they would be electronic home assignments. And the word that has come for the home assignment in the present chapter is punch code. This homework is written as punch codes, means you have to write your homework in the form of punch codes there, in the form of coding. If you ask the senior student, they keep doing coding for the different programs. This is the language that only the computers understand. Your language, a teacher of mathematics can understand, a teacher of sciences can understand, any other language can understand. But if you, for the schools in future, if a teacher of geography gives you a homework, so the language that the teacher of geography or the mechanical teacher of geography understand, only that language will be accepted by the teacher. So you can imagine that what kind of school those would be. Will that be a fun, or it will not be a fun? Things that, so this is all which has been written in this story by Isaac Asimov, that the students in the future, they are going to miss. If we can compare the schools that we have today and the schools that which will be in future. Students, this is very good that science is doing leaps and bound advancement in the field, in the different fields, and definitely it is doing in the field of education also. But along with the advancement of science, there are drawbacks. Each and everything cannot be done by science. Sometimes we have to do the things collectively. We have to do things in the society, in the socially, and which the students are going to miss. There are some pictures that the students in near future, they are going to miss. This scene, definitely sitting together, talking, gossiping and enjoying the class. This is what the children in future are going to miss. Maggie and Tommy have never sat like this in such a setup where there is a class and students. Maggie even finds it very interesting or strange that children of the same age, they are sitting in the same class and studying the same thing. This is what Maggie find very interesting. They are going to miss all the gossips, all the things, all the sharings that the children often do in the classroom. They are going to miss all this as well. So students, you can find that the schools today are really very fun. School, they give you fun, they give you enjoyment along with the studies, along with the learning, but students in future are going to miss it. You have already seen in the cases of Margie and Tommy. Now there is a little home assignment for you based on what you have read and what I explained to you. In the present, directly and indirectly, in both ways, the schools of today and the schools of future have been compared. What will you do is in the comment section below, or you can write on a piece of paper and the picture can be posted. You can write any 10 points on each, whether drawback, plus point. What can you do is 5 plus point of schools today and 5 positive negative points of the school today. Similarly, what would be 5 plus points in the school in future, and what 5 negative points of the schools in future. These 10 points can be written and can be posted on the comment section below. So now we come to the conclusion of this class today. The next streaming will be on the topic The Route Not Taken, a very beautiful poem by Robert Frost. Please come prepared. Thank you.